You are listening to Wilhelm, a film-centric podcast for film lovers of all kinds. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Wilhelm. I am your host, Ben Beck, and on this episode, no one can hear you scream. That's right. On this episode, my guest and I will be revealing our choices for our top 5 favorite films that take place primarily in the darkness of space. But before I tell you more, allow me to introduce my guest for this week. Please welcome my friend Kelly Burgess to Wilhelm.
Hi, thanks. I'm excited to be on here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on, especially for this topic. Like this is, I mean, every topic I've done on Wilhelm so far has been fun, but this is one that like, I'm really looking forward to because there's a lot of movies to talk about for this, at least to mention.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I know you don't host any podcasts, but have you been on any podcasts before? Or is this one of your first times?
I've been on Mark's Adrenaline Cinema podcast, one episode, and the Zedhead show.
What was the movie that you discussed on Adrenaline?
Aliens.
Oh, appropriate.
Yeah.
That's kind of appropriate for this. And you said you've been on an episode of Zedhead?
Yeah.
As well? Were you talking Walking Dead or?
No, I talked about church, Mormon church.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily go with this topic, but that's all right. So as I've mentioned in previous episodes before, I always give my guests the option to choose the topics that they want to talk about on the podcast. And there was a couple that you brought to when you filled out the form and everything you request and you wanted to be on. There's a few topics. What was it about space movies that made you choose it?
Space is one of my favorite genres. Like, I love space movies. It falls kind of into the disaster movie category, I feel like, a lot of times. Yeah. It really does, because it always seems that it always seems that in any kind of a space movie, anytime they go into space, there's always something that goes wrong. Yeah. So
there's never a perfect space.
No.
A space even if it's like a romantic space movie, it's like, oh, well, we have to survive for this romance to last. Otherwise we both die. So, cool. Yeah. I was glad that you chose it, because it's, there's a lot of movies to talk about or at least bring up and mention. As per usual, I know the same goes with you. I have more honorable mentions than just in my top 5. My top 5 was really difficult to choose, and there's some in my honorable mentions that some people would probably feel should be in my top 5.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of opinion, which is one of the reasons why I like doing this podcast. I always get messages from people like, how could you not choose this? Or how have you never seen this? Or how have, I know the Mafia episode that I did with Wendy, the number of messages I got from people of, you've never seen Scarface before, is ridiculous. But I accepted it. So you want to jump into it?
Sure.
All right. Before we get into it, I have to let you know, if you're a new listener to the podcast, before we jump into our top 5, neither Kelly or myself, we haven't revealed or discussed our choices to one another beforehand, as not to influence each other. So I don't know Kelly's top 5 and she doesn't know mine. Excuse me. Also, just a fair warning, if you haven't seen one or a few of these movies that we mentioned, there's always a possibility for spoilers. So just be prepared of that for ahead of time. That said, let's dive into our top 5. Starting with number 5, Kelly, where do you fall for your top 5 movies, top 5 space movies?
My number 5 is Sunshine from 2007.
And you know what? I have a feeling that one might have fallen in my list, but I've never seen it before.
I really like it. I love Cillian Murphy. I can watch him in anything.
Yeah, he's he's one of those guys that I'm the same way. I loved him in, I mentioned Road to Perdition last episode, which he's great in. What's the one with Jodie Foster? Is it Red Eye? I think he is in as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He is in that.
Who else is in Sunshine that I would know?
Chris Evans is in it.
Oh, Captain America.
And also another, let's see. Rose Byrne is in it.
Okay.
And Cliff Curtis, you might know from Fear the Walking Dead.
I might know him if I saw his face. I don't know him by name. But
and then Benedict Wong.
Another Marvel.
Yes.
Another Marvel alum.
Yeah.
I think his name in Marvel is Wong, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that's a good choice. That's one I always make a list every time, or I have a list already. And anytime I do an episode, I'm always adding movies to that list that are movies I either need to watch for the first time or want to go back and rewatch. So I'm going to have to add Sunshine to that list.
Yeah.
I've never
seen it. It's a good movie. It's and it takes kind of a dark twist. So
if I remember correctly, is that the one where they kind of have to restart the sun?
Yes. They're on a mission to.
That like the sun is about to die and they have to like.
It's like much to restart it.
Yeah. Okay. That's one that's been on my radar for a while. I just never had the opportunity to watch. My number 5 on my top 5 list is a movie from 1997 called The Fifth Element.
Oh, nice.
Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker, Mila Jovovich, a number of people that this movie is just. It's so much fun. It's so ridiculously over the top, but it's one of the reasons why I love the movie. And this, again, like 3, 4, and 5 are ones that probably could have been very easily swapped out with ones that are in my honorable mentions. But I always look at, when I pick my top 5, like I always look at movies like, okay, if I was forced to choose between these two movies, which one would I choose to watch? Fifth Element is one that usually anytime it's on television or anytime I come across it on digital or whatever, and I'm looking for a movie to watch, it's usually the movie I stop at and I will sit and I watch.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that one. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's really good.
I forgot about Gary Oldman too. Gary Oldman is fantastic in that movie. Tom Tiny Lister is the president of the United States. President of Earth, I think. Is who he is in that movie. And of course the late great Luke Perry as well has a cameo in the beginning of the movie. So, but Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker, it's so over the top. And I love that movie. Yeah. Ruby Rhod is one of my all-time favorite movie characters. He's a little annoying at first, and then he really starts to grow on you as the movie progresses forward. And he's just so damn funny by the time the movie is over.
Yeah, he makes the movie by the time it's over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He becomes a favorite by the time the movie's over. All right, moving on. What movie falls into your number 4?
My number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, that is of course is one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah, this is one I thought we might duplicate on. But
I had a feeling we might as well, which is kind of one of the reasons why I put it in my honorable mentions. So I was like, I have a feeling like it's probably going to end up on both of our lists at some point. So I'm going to move it to honorable mentions. I have to make note too, ahead of time. I meant to do this at the top of the podcast. I don't know about you, but I did not include any Star Wars or Star Trek in my top 5. I felt like, for starters, I'm going to be covering them on future episodes of Wilhelm, so I figured they'll get the attention they deserve in those episodes. But I felt it best to kind of keep them out of my top 5 and my honorable mentions as well, just so I could show some love to some other movies that might not have made the list because they were in my top 5.
Yeah, I pretty much did the same.
Okay. So I just wanted to make a note of that as well. But yeah, Guardians is such a great pick.
Yeah. I love the MCU and how this brought the MCU into space and how they portrayed it. Like, it was just awesome.
Yeah, it's so well done. The cast is amazing. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Michael Rooker. Oh my God, Bradley Cooper. I couldn't think of his name for some reason. Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel. It's so well done.
Yeah, I really flip flopped on this one and on my honorable mentions.
Okay. Yeah, and Guardians is one of those properties too from Marvel that I grew up reading comic books. I read more DC than I did Marvel, but I'm such a bigger Marvel fan now when it comes to movies than I am DC. And I was familiar, obviously, with Iron Man, Captain America, and the Avengers. But when Marvel announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, wow, like, I don't know these characters. I'm not familiar with them. I don't know what to expect. I'm not going to read the comic books. Like, I want to go into it blind. And I was so pleased with that movie that it's probably one of my favorite MCU movies.
Yeah, it's one that you can just watch whenever.
And the sequel's probably, I put the sequel up there with the first one as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, both are well done. My number 4, funny enough, also a more lighter space movie, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy is. I went with WALL-E from 2008. Movie starts on Earth, as most of the space movies that we're going to mention do, but eventually does leave the planet and takes place primarily in space. Pixar, I put in kind of the same realm of the MCU. The MCU for me hasn't missed yet. There's been some lower tier movies, but even their lower tier movies are still great movies compared to other movies outside of the MCU. Pixar's the same way for me. They really haven't missed with any of their films, and WALL-E for me is just such a wonderful, delightful movie with a character that doesn't even speak, which I find I kind of find brilliant in its writing. You know, you were able to make me fall for a character that just doesn't have any dialogue other than his name. I think that's the only thing he says in the entire movie. Or in Eva, I think he says as well. So he says 2 words like the entire movie.
That's probably one I've seen the least. I wasn't a huge WALL-E fan.
That's all right. You're wrong, but it's all right. No, I'm just kidding. Matters of opinion. That's all it is. All right. Moving into our top 3 now. Here's where things get interesting, because these for me are the ones that I don't think budged from my list.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun to see if we have any of the same movies in these top 3. 2 of my top 3, I can see maybe us sharing at some point in some position. One of them, maybe not, but we'll see. Moving into our top 3, where do you fall for your number 3 spot?
I picked Aliens as my number 3.
I picked Alien for number 3. I had a feeling these were going to be 2 movies that were going to fall. One of these 2 movies were going to fall in our top 3, and we're able to cover both. Yeah. So what is it about Aliens?
The action. I like more the action instead of the slow build like Alien is.
So you like it. You like the fact. I mean, granted, I will say very few sequels to me surpass the original. We talked about The Godfather and The Godfather 2 last episode on Wilhelm. I think Aliens is another one that I think falls into that category. Aliens surpasses Alien as far as a sequel.
Yeah, I think so. It's my favorite of them.
And appropriate that's the movie that you did on Adrenaline Cinema with our friend Mark Kirkman. I chose Alien though for my top 3. Like, it was tough. Like, I went back and forth between Alien and Aliens for my top 3. I didn't want to put them both because I didn't want to take up 2 spots with just one film franchise. But for me, I think as great as Aliens was, Alien kind of redefined the space horror genre. And I think that kind of meant, I think that impact was more important when it came to which one to choose for my top 3. So I went with Alien over Aliens. They're both great.
Yeah. It was hard to pick, but I just felt like probably more people would pick Alien as the better movie.
So you went with the Aliens as the underdog?
Yes.
For the 2? All right. Yeah. Fair enough. They're both movies. I haven't seen any of the Alien franchise in a while. It's probably been a good 7-8 years since I've seen any of the Alien movies. I've never seen Prometheus. And wasn't there another one? Or
Covenant, I think.
That's it. Yeah. Alien Covenant, which haven't seen that one either. I've seen the first of the batch before Prometheus, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen Prometheus or Alien Covenant. I will eventually. I heard Prometheus doesn't live up to the original films, even though I think Prometheus is a prequel.
Yeah, they're both Alien movies, kind of prequels.
Alien Covenant is a prequel as well.
I think it's been a while, but
okay. I'll get to them eventually.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We knocked out our top 3 kind of in one, our number 3 kind of in one conversation, since we both shared that. Alien was 1979 and Aliens, I think, was 1986. Okay, I was thinking 84, but wow. I didn't realize it was that much. God, that's what 7 years later. Yeah. So took them that long. But that's all right. All right, number 2, our top 2. Where do you fall for number 2?
For me, this was pretty easy. It's Apollo 13.
It's a good one.
I knew it had to be in my top 2.
It is in my honorable mentions. Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Ron Howard and the cast is just phenomenal.
Yeah. And I rewatched it recently because I couldn't remember a lot of the details, even though I've seen it lots of times.
It's one of those movies. I think what makes it so great is the fact that it was based on a true story. It was based on the actual events that happened from the Apollo 13 mission. It has a movie quote that is quoted and has been quoted more times than I think anyone can count. With Houston, we have a problem.
It's just classic.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the cast. The cast is phenomenal. You have Tom Hanks, the late Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, Kathleen Quinlan. It's just an amazing cast, and it's a phenomenal film. It's another one I haven't seen in a while, actually.
Yeah, that's why I had to rewatch it. Like I think I'd forgotten Kevin Bacon was in it even, and then
how could you forget Kevin Bacon?
I don't know. I just was trying to think of who was in it. And
he's
I better rewatch it.
He's one of the astronauts.
Yeah, I know. I think it's one of his best performances, really, after watching it.
You mean better than Tremors? No, I agree with you. It is one of Kevin Bacon's better performances. And I think it's an Oscar. Did it win the Oscar? The year, I don't remember if it won the Oscar or not, or if I know it was nominated, but I can't remember if it won the Oscar or not. It did win 2 Oscars. I'm looking at that now. Winner for best sound and best film editing. Mm-hmm. And it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor for Ed Harris, Best Actress for Kathleen Quinlan, Best Writing, Best Art Direction, Best Effects, Best Music. So it was nominated for a lot. And won 2 of the Oscars that it was nominated for. So I don't remember what other movies were nominated with it.
Yeah, it was in 95.
96. I think it was released in 95, but it was for the Academy Awards in 96, the following year. So that's all right. That's a conversation for another episode. My number 2, this again was like Apollo 13 for you, this was a no-brainer for me. You went with a drama. I went with a comedy. My number 2 is Galaxy Quest.
No, I had completely forgot about that. Yeah.
This was one of those ones for me too that I was like, I had my top 5 done, and then I remembered Galaxy Quest, and I was like, no, like something's got to be bumped.
It has to be in there, yeah.
Because this has to be in my top 5. This is a movie that I remember when it first was, the trailers were first releasing for it, as I was like, well, I like Tim Allen, I like Sigourney Weaver, like I like all these people in the movie, but this movie looks kind of dumb. Like it looks like it's just a spoof of Star Wars or Star Trek. Yeah. In which in essence it kind of is. But it's a loving homage to the actual genre, not just of, space travel, but like of the television series itself, like in the fact that these are a group of people who used to be on a television series and are now somehow in the situation where they are actually in space. It's what if the Star Trek actors actually traveled through space, and that's what Galaxy Quest covers. And again, another movie with a phenomenal cast in Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, the late great Alan Rickman, Tony Shalhoub, Daryl Mitchell, Sam Rockwell, who this is one of his earlier movies, who has become an amazing actor since Galaxy Quest. A very young Justin Long. This is one of those movies that I can watch over and over and over again and never get tired of it. Never get tired of it.
Yeah, it needs to go on my list to rewatch. It's been a long time.
It's so good. It's such a great movie. And I know it's a movie that will come up again at some point in over episodes of Wilhelm. I'm sure it'll be mentioned later on. That brings us to our number 1 picks for our top 5. Where do you fall? What do you got?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're not going to agree on this one.
Okay.
It's Interstellar. I know you're not a Christopher Nolan fan.
I'm okay. I've talked about this on other podcasts. I haven't talked about this yet on Wilhelm. I do, and I might get criticism for this, and it's fine. I do kind of think Christopher Nolan is a little overrated as a filmmaker. That's not to say I don't think he has made some great movies. The Prestige is a fantastic movie. The Dark Knight was a great movie. Not so much The Dark Knight Rises, in my opinion. I do have Interstellar in my honorable mentions, though.
Okay.
I mean, what is it about it that you felt this deserved to be number 1?
It's when I first saw it in the theater, like I sat through it and did not go to the bathroom. I thought I was going to die. Like it's almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And then I went back and saw it in the theater again. Same thing. I could not leave for it. It's just captivating. Like the whole thing. I don't know. Matthew McConaughey is great in it. Like,
McConaughey,
amazing performance.
Yeah, McConaughey is great in it. Anne Hathaway, I think, is an amazing actress in it as well. It's got a great cast. I mean, Michael Caine, who seems to be a go-to for Nolan. He tends to use Michael Caine a lot. I know he's obviously Alfred in the Batman films. He was in what's the I can't think of the name of that movie with the spinning top.
Inception.
Inception. Which, Michael Caine seems to be a go-to for Nolan.
I love the story, and it just seems realistic. It seems like it's something that could happen.
I didn't see the movie in theaters. I should have, because it is actually a visually beautiful film. I don't know why I didn't see it in theaters. I think I just didn't have the time to go see it, or I maybe I wasn't. It was 2014, and I was still going to the movie theater a lot, so I can't say I wasn't a avid theater goer at the time, because I've been an avid theater goer for on 20 years at this point, so I can't use that excuse. Maybe it was because it was Christopher Nolan that I just didn't want to go see it. But I remember watching it at home, and I did have the same reaction. I didn't get up. I was intrigued the entire time. So I feel that's a good choice. It's, it's one I feel like I need to revisit, because it's been a while. I don't think I've watched it since. I don't think I've seen it since the first time I've seen it.
Yeah. See, it's one I've already rewatched several times.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's one I'm going to have to go back and watch. I do remember. I agree with you. McConaughey was excellent. He was phenomenal in that movie.
And it's just, there's so much to it. You find something different each time.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I need to go back and rewatch it. So that's a good, I'll give you that one. I may not be a Nolan fan, but I think that's a good choice for a number one pick. I can definitely see that. My number brings us to the final one for our top five. My number one actually shares an actress with your number one, and that's Jessica Chastain. For my number one, I went with The Martian.
Okay. Yeah. I thought that would be on yours.
The Martian is very easily not just my number one film for space movies. I think The Martian, quite honestly, would fall in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It is, we've mentioned movies with phenomenal casts. This is another one of those movies. Matt Damon as Mark Watney knocks it out of the park. Chastain is great. Kate Mara, Kristen Wiig, Donald Glover, Michael Pena, Jeff Daniels, Sean Bean, Benedict Wong, who we mentioned from an earlier film, Mackenzie Davis, and I know there's others I'm forgetting. But I remember seeing the movie before reading the book and loving the movie so much that I went to read the book, which is sometimes can be a big risk, because there can be a lot of differences between film and book. But I remember reading the book and getting about halfway through the book and realizing, I'm like, this is almost word for word, page for page, what the movie is. Like, this is almost a spot on adaptation of this book. And it's a movie where it's a dire circumstance. It's somebody who was left behind on a distant planet to fend for himself, to fight to survive. But in the midst of all that, there's comedic elements that make you laugh. There's moments that you cheer. There are moments that make you cry from like happy tears. I remember the first time I watched it, I went to theaters to see this one. And again, like, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, you should see it. The whole, like, him sitting in the modular vehicle listening to disco music always makes me laugh. Mark Watney, space pirate, is something I quote all the time. I'm going to science the shit out of this is a quote. But I remember distinctly one of my favorite moments of the movie is the very end when they're doing the rescue attempt and he has to shoot himself off the planet, and he says he's going to Iron Man this bitch, and he gets caught by Jessica Chastain's character. Like, you kind of tear up, because you realize, like, okay, he's getting rescued. And when they finally wind him in, and the first thing he says is, "You have horrible taste in music," like, which just made me laugh. And it's such a great movie that when I looked at all of my films to fit in my top 5 and honorable mentions, this was the one that stuck out the most, where I was like, there's no doubt in my mind, this is my number one.
Yeah, it's great. It's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I figured it'd probably be in your top list.
Yeah, it had to be. It's just great music, great story, great, phenomenal cast. I'll be honest with you, I will probably be watching the movie as I'm editing this episode because anytime I talk about it or I quote it, I want to rewatch it. I don't own physical media anymore. Everything I own is digital now. I have 5 4K Blu-rays in my collection, physical media. The Martian is one of them because I want to watch that in its purest form when I watch it, because it is a visually stunning movie too. So, but that's cool. That's a great top 5 on your part, and I don't fault you at all for putting Interstellar in there. It's a great movie, and one I need to go back and rewatch. But that brings us to our honorable mentions, and I know you and I both have quite a few. We don't have to dive too deep into these. We can kind of just go back and forth on some of these. I know we've kind of already mentioned a couple of them that I've had, and a couple that you've had as well. I mentioned Interstellar was one of mine. Guardians of the Galaxy was one of mine as well. But what's one of the honorable mentions that you have on your list?
I had Space Camp on there. It's so cheesy, but
it's a cheesy movie, but
I
it's
love
a great movie.
And rewatching it, it kind of holds up still, like more than I thought it would.
That's another one of those movies that, like, this is a weird confessional at this point. And don't fault me for this, anybody listening, but Space Camp was that movie that when I went back to rewatch, Space Camp is the movie that made me realize I'm a much more emotional person the older I've gotten, because the scene in Space Camp where Kelly Preston, when she's doing Morse code, the scene where NASA answers back and, she screams that NASA is talking. I don't know why I got teared up at that movie or at that moment. It's so ridiculous that I got teared up at that moment, but it's, again, like, that's a great choice for honorable mention. I didn't even think to include that.
I know. I was like, I don't think I can put it in my top 5, but I gotta mention it.
Oh man, that's a good one too. And a very, very young Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. I don't even think he was Joaquin.
No,
at that point.
He
was Leaf. Leaf. Yeah. Leaf Phoenix, which, he wasn't even, but Leah Thompson, Kelly Preston. For the life of me, I can't think of the main actor's name.
Tate Donovan.
Yeah, Tate Donovan. Yeah. And Tom Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt, yeah.
Yeah, also in that movie.
Everybody's dad they want,
Yeah. That's a great choice. That's a great honorable mention. I didn't even think about that one. My first honorable mention is one that got bumped from my top 5 because of Galaxy Quest, and it deserves to be in my top 5, and that's Total Recall.
Oh. That's one I totally forgot about.
I mean, it starts on Earth, but takes place on Mars. And, it's a great, and probably one of my favorite Schwarzenegger films.
Yeah.
You look at the cast, Sharon Stone, early Sharon Stone. I think this was probably one of her first major motion pictures. But Michael Ironside, Ronnie Cox, there's just another lot of great people in the movie. And it's just, it's another fun, quotable movie that I had to include in my honorable mentions. What's another one from you?
I did have Star Wars in my honorable mentions, just so
it's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, it's you look at, we talked about it's very difficult to find movies for this list that take place entirely in space and don't include Earth in any way. Star Wars is one of them. Our lists would be a lot shorter if Earth didn't play a part in any of these movies. Because even Guardians of the Galaxy, which takes place in space, started on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be fair to not mention Star Wars on this episode, because it's the quintessential space movie. Yes. It's a space odyssey. Funny enough, that is one of my honorable mentions, is 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
From 1968, Stanley Kubrick. It is quoted oftentimes as being one of the greatest movies of all time. I have not seen it in probably about 20 years. So I don't remember enough of it to have included it in my top 5. So I had to go with movies.
I don't know if I've ever seen it like all the way through, like sat and just watched it.
It's an interesting movie, but it is a amazing film. I do remember really enjoying it after watching it. But Kubrick is hit or miss with some people.
I'm not a huge Kubrick fan.
I know some people who weren't either. Just going to make a very interesting episode when I focus on Kubrick, because his movies are very hit or miss with people. What's another one that you got?
I had Pitch Black. This one I almost put in my top 5, but then I rewatched it and it didn't hold up as well.
It didn't hold up. Vin Diesel in his early action phase, which he hasn't left since doing, and rightfully so. He's a great action star. I don't remember a lot about this movie.
Yeah. I just liked, I don't know, the aliens and like how he could see them, but nothing else. It was just kind of interesting concept.
I was just going to say it's an interesting concept. The movie wasn't very memorable to me. So I think it's one I probably need to go back and rewatch, because I don't think I've watched it since the first time I saw it. So I might have to add it to the Wilhelm playlist of movies I need to go back and rewatch. Another honorable mention on my end is not one of. I feel bad bringing it up in this episode because it will definitely be brought up again later this year. It is one of, if not my all-time favorite horror movies, and that is Event Horizon. It is. I left it in my honorable mentions because I knew I wouldn't be talking too much about it in my honorable mentions, so I could save it for it's going to be a spoiler for when you listen to the horror episode later this year. You already know one that's going to be probably my number 1. Yeah. But Event Horizon is one of those movies to me that still, I'm a huge horror buff. Yeah. It takes a lot to scare me. It takes a lot to creep me out. Event Horizon still creeps me out.
Yeah, that's one I don't know if I can rewatch because it's so scary.
It's just it's a fantastic horror movie. Yeah. I love it. Got any more?
I have Life.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you should. That one scared me.
Is that Chris Pratt? Or is that a different?
Yes, I think it is someone.
I can't remember if Life was that the Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, no.
Oh, what movie am I thinking of?
It's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Yes.
I had someone else from.
Yeah, I know I haven't seen it. I will definitely add it to the list of movies that I need to watch. So yeah, that's
it's one I don't know if I can rewatch. I loved it, but it freaked me out.
Is it a horror film?
Yeah.
Okay, then I definitely need to watch it because I need to find some good horror movies I haven't seen before. And Ryan Reynolds has gotten to the point where I will watch pretty much anything he's in.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised I haven't seen this one before. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. Or not rewatch it, I have to go back and watch it. One I've about 3 more on my list. I don't know how many more you have. But it's fine. We'll get to them all. Another honorable mention for me is Gravity.
Yeah.
From 2013, Sandra Bullock. And I almost want to say a cameo appearance by George Clooney because he's not in it very long. Yeah. But yeah, Sandra Bullock, Ed Harris as the voice of Mission Control. I don't think you ever see him at any point in the movie. I think you just hear his voice the whole time. But it's a well acted film by Sandra Bullock. I'm not the biggest Sandra Bullock fan, but I thought she was amazing in the film. So I had to put it in. I don't think I liked it enough to put it in my top 5, but I do remember enjoying it. So it made my honorable mentions.
Yeah, it was one I did think about.
I think I need to watch it again. It's another one I haven't seen since I first saw it. So I think it's going to get added to the playlist. My playlist is growing so long at this point. And I still have more episodes to go. What's another honorable mention from your end?
Serenity.
That's on mine too. Yeah. Yep. Actually, that was my next honorable mention.
Yeah. I'm a big Firefly fan, and at least we got the movie to.
At least we got
wrap it up.
At least we got the movie, and we got to wash our hands of. I don't want to. That's a bad joke. I don't want to do that. Poor Wash. That wasn't. Yeah, I don't want to.
It rough.
It's one of those movies too that anytime like. I am also a huge Firefly fan. I love Nathan Fillion and Adam Baldwin and that entire cast. The show got canceled prematurely. Joss gave us Serenity, which I thought was a great wrap up to the story, great follow up. I know a lot of people are still clamoring for Firefly to come back. Serenity kind of wrapped it up for me. I don't think I need Firefly to return. I like the cult status that Firefly has gained because of its short-lived, its short life on television. And Serenity kind of satisfied my urge for more. Plus, how would you undo some of the events that happened in that movie to bring back Firefly?
Yeah, and you couldn't have Firefly without some of them.
And not only that, but some of the people in that movie and on that television series, like Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk particularly, have become so much bigger than that series. They've moved on from it. And I wouldn't want them to take a back step. Like, I love the work that they're doing. Nathan Fillion is amazing on The Rookie. To anybody who watches that series, I know he's going to be in the new Suicide Squad movie that's coming out. Or has come out, depending on when you're listening to this, because I know it's only a couple weeks away. Alan Tudyk is doing amazing work on Resident Alien, on Sci-Fi, Doom Patrol, where he was voicing some characters. Like and just his voice actor work with Star Wars and everything else. Like I almost feel like Firefly would be a step backwards for them at this point. So I kind of don't think I need it. I'm good. I have one more honorable mention on my list. It's another one that kind of got bumped from my top 5, but it's a movie that I love, and that's Titan AE from 2000, animated film by Don Bluth. Another Matt Damon movie because he is the lead voice in it. But Matt Damon, Drew Barrymore, Nathan Lane, John Leguizamo, Bill Pullman. Janine Garofalo is one of the other ones on that list, but it's one of my favorite animated movies, and I couldn't not mention that one on my list. Any other honorable mentions on your end?
I had The Martian on there, but
okay,
covered that.
We kind of already talked about that one. So was that the last of your honorable mentions?
Yes.
Cool. A lot of good movies. It's another reason I love doing this podcast is because I get to put together a list of movies I need to watch and rewatch. And I just added about 5 more to that list from this episode. But yeah, thanks for putting together the list of your top 5 and those honorable mentions.
Yeah.
So I mentioned at the top of the podcast, you don't host any shows or anything like that, which is just perfectly fine. You've guested on a couple other ones. So rather than promote any shows that you're doing, any projects that you're working on, and if not, feel free to mention any podcasts that you're listening to, that you're enjoying, that you kind of feel you want to show some love to.
I listen to House Podcastica. That's one of my favorites. They just finished covering The Handmaid's Tale.
Have they picked what they're doing next?
They'll be doing What If.
Okay, the new Marvel series.
Yeah.
Which I think is next month?
Yeah.
I think it's August. Yeah, because I know Jason asked me if I wanted to come on an episode or 2 of that one. I was like, yes. Like, that's a no-brainer. He better bring me on for the Marvel Zombies episode. We'll see.
And I'm excited for Strange Indeed to cover Sweet Tooth because I really liked that.
Yeah, I think they just started Well, I don't think they put out the first episode. At the time we're recording this, I think they're preparing to record the first episode, or they may have just recorded. I don't think they've posted yet. But by the time you're hearing this, it'll probably be up. They might be an episode or two in by the time you're hearing this episode. And I know Strange Indeed at some point later on this year, they're going to be covering the Dexter revival as well. So I'm looking forward to that, because after seeing the new trailer, I'm kind of on board now.
Dexter's one I need to watch. I still have never watched it. I don't want to say too much to kind of steer you to it or steer away. I will say this: season 4 of Dexter, in my opinion, is one of the greatest seasons of television I have ever seen. And I know a lot of people agree with that. Later seasons, not so much. I kind of feel like they hit their peak with seasons 4 and 5, but that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean people have to agree with me. But I think that's a series I might rewatch before November, when the revival comes back, returns. Anything else that you kind of want to show some love to, or? I also enjoy Run for Your Lives with Paik and Daphne. They do a lot of movies that I love.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah, they do a lot of creature features and disaster films, which are a lot of fun. I've been on a couple episodes with them. Paik was just on with me recently here, and I know Daphne's going to be on a near future episode as well. That's it. That's another great podcast. I love that podcast as well. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Strange Indeed, all the podcasts that we mentioned, Strange Indeed, Run for Your Lives. What was the House Podcastica? We mentioned Adrenaline Cinema. All these podcasts are great podcasts you can very easily find. I think they're all available wherever podcasts can be heard. So highly recommended to check out any or all of them. So as for Wilhelm, if you like what you hear on this podcast, be sure to leave a review of the show on whatever podcasting platform you're listening on. The more reviews, the more people I get to reach. Also, be sure to follow Wilhelm on social media, such as Facebook at facebook.com/The Wilhelm Podcast, and at The Wilhelm Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And lastly, if you want to be a guest on Wilhelm, I'm open to anybody who wants to come on. If you have an idea for a topic, a theme, a movie, anything you want to hear me cover, or you want to be a guest, you can message me on any of the things I mentioned before: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or you can email me directly at thewilhelmpodcast@gmail.com. Kelly, this was a lot of fun. We brought up some great movies. I'm glad that you're kind of branching out and being guests on podcasts, and it's I will definitely have you on again. I know we have some other topics that you submitted that we'll get to as well.
Okay. Sounds good. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for being a part of it. And as for everybody else, thank you for listening. Thank you for submitting some, comments and feedback afterwards, even if it's criticizing me for not having seen a movie before. That's perfectly fine. And thank you for the great feedback on, enjoying the podcast and stuff. I really enjoy it. Leave reviews, because that's where those opinions matter, and that's where they really help. But until next time, we got some great episodes coming up. We're going to be talking about Alfred Hitchcock, war movies, Westerns, a lot of great topics coming in the future. We're going to be diving into some film franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek, as we mentioned. At the time we're recording this, the new Ghostbusters trailer has just dropped. So, which I've already watched it like 5 times. So by the time you're hearing this, it might be a week or two that it's already been out, but expect a Ghostbusters episode in the future, closer to probably when that movie is getting ready to release. We'll do that one. October is going to be great because we're going to be talking about horror films and such. Expect Christmas movies towards the end of the year. A lot of great stuff. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the great feedback. But until next time, I'll see you guys further on down the road. Take care.